Excuse me, again, I just put out more forms, and I put pins back there. And again, if you fill out the form today, you can just give it to me before you leave, or you can drop it off at the council office on Monday or next week. But there's more forms back there.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. We trying to stay close to 1 o'clock. We getting a little housekeeping things in order. Everybody got an agenda? If it had ran out, there's some more that's just been made. They back in the back. And you can follow along on the agenda. We had to run off some more. Good to see everybody here. Yeah, as soon as the clerk get ready, we'll be ready. You know, we got a new clerk. Ms. Brown passed the baton. Inez Brown. Paul, how you looking back there? So what we on 17 YouTube? But you all right. All right. And I ain't got my hair cut. I got my hat on. I think I'm gonna keep it on a bad hair day. soon as the clerk show up, we'll call this gathering to order. We'll try to get in and out of here as quick as we can today, as long as we get an understanding and take care of business. You can't hear? We'll see how it go. We'll see how it go. I'll try to talk loud. You know, I gotta. We can proceed to discuss city business in the public arena, but we will not vote and take action today. So we're here. We're ready to go. Let's start out with a roll call.
Mr. Mays.
Present.
Ms. Lewis is absent. Mr. Murphy is absent. Ms. Priestley is absent. Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Present.
Ms. Burns?
Present.
Ms. Herkenroder is absent. Mr. Pfeiffer is absent. Ms. Worthing is absent. You have 3 members present.
We have 3 out of 9 present. We're ready to proceed. Let's start out with the Pledge of Allegiance. If you choose, all rise. Ms. Burns, you want to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And then next on the agenda, we'll have a prayer of blessing. I'm going to ask my friend and pastor in the community, Pastor Threlkel, if you feel, will you come up and lead us in a prayer of blessing? Before he start, any bereaved families, anybody who we need a moment of silence for, if you want to come up and tell us, we'll even pause for that before the prayer. Any bereaved families? We'll still do a moment of silence after the prayer for all the bereaved families. Go ahead, Pastor Threlkel, and pray. I'm going to get on my knees.
Push it, you should push it in
If it's down, it's off. If it's up, it's on.
It's up.
There you
Testing.
The Lord was going to hear you regardless.
That's right. Oh, Lord. Let us bow. Precious Lord, again, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this hour. We thank you for your Holy Ghost power. You woke us up this morning and started us on our way, and we must say much obliged. We come now to this meeting assembled here for the residents of Flint. We pray that the business that's in order, that we do it decent and in order, that all avenues and things will be taken care of, that whatever monies are allocated to help this city to be a better city, we pray that it is moved and done decent in order. We pray for each and every one under the sound of my voice, those that have lost loved ones, gone on to be with our ancestors. We thank you, and we that remain, we pray that you will soften our hearts, soften our communication, and help us to become more cohesive, working together for the betterment of the city of Flint. And all these blessings we ask. In Jesus' name we pray. And all the church said, amen.
Amen.
Amen. As we look farther down the agenda, I'm going to skip over the reading of the disorderly person subsection. We'll keep order. That Mr. Metcalf back there, he done arrested me 3-4 times. I think everybody gonna be all right. Amen. I'll probably be all right today as well. So we want to keep order and do things as the pastor prayed, decent and in order. Ms. Burns, Ms. Winfrey Carter, is there any requests or changes to this agenda?
Councilor Mays, no.
I don't have any changes to the agenda. Thank you, Councilman Mays.
All right, I'm going to go straight to the purpose of the meeting. It says a discussion with Flint City residents regarding ARPA funds and the city's council's request form. For those that's here, maybe you can do it by standing or a show of hands. How many people filled out that initial council form? That's a pretty good amount of folks who showed up. We had about 400 or 500 of them filled out. And we had a lot of them for home improvements, which is a category of the ARPA funds that it can be used for. We hired a compliance firm, and we pay them $1 million a year. I would report to this group that I had the compliance firm go through each application. And in the home improvement section, about how many millions of dollars do you think have been requested? Anybody got an idea? No, it was about 7.6 million so far. Yeah, you know how much you requested. Some people requested 5,000 for certain home repairs. Some requested 10 and 12,000. Some requested 50,000. The total amount, when Ernst & Young went through them, 7.6 million requested. So I would applaud, I would ask y'all to applaud yourself for utilizing that initial form. And the reason I say applaud yourself, because when people find out that these monies are real, and when people start getting money disbursed, I predict that's going to double. I predict it's going to double. We're at a point in the council procedure. Let me make it perfectly clear. This money will be allocated by 5 or more votes of this council. That's who's going to control the purse strings. 5 or more council people will control the vote. And from what I'm gathering or guessing, we call this meeting on a Saturday because Monday we hear that the administration might release an application form. Now, the first form that you filled out was an initial form. We have all of them, and we gave you copies of what you turned in, correct? You have your copies. We have the originals, correct? And I'm like, the money gonna run out. So you gotta do a first come, first served basis. I think that's fair. You think it's fair? And I called y'all in, or we called y'all in, because in my mind, y'all gonna help us hold folks accountable. Want me to say it again? Y'all, the residents and the voters, will help hold folks accountable. I don't think all of the residents here, Ms. Winfrey Carter, I don't think they are from the 5th Ward, do you? Ms. Burns, I don't think they are from the 6th Ward, do you? They could be all from the 1st Ward, but I don't think so. They're from wards all across the city, and each ward has a representative. Some of their representatives should be here today. Amen. But I'm sure we'll figure out how to hold them accountable. From what you can see, in some cases, we might only be 2 votes away from allocating money to the home improvement section. I don't think that the 6 missing council people is going to be able to hold money away from the home improvement section. Now, $7.6 million has been requested. I don't mind, let me do it this way. Ms. Winfrey Carter, because I'll talk all day. Ms. Winfrey Carter or Ms. Burns, either one of y'all want to tell the people how much money we started with and how much we have left. And some of y'all probably already know, because we're going to open it up and we're going to talk with y'all, and y'all going to talk with us. We're just going over the initial purpose. If they don't say anything, I'm going to keep talking.
You can go here. Councilman Mays, I know this for sure, and to the public. We voted on the budget for the opera funds. And first, in my opinion, $5 million towards home improvements for a city like Flint, Michigan, whereas everyone in this city probably needs some money to do improvements to their homes. I know I need some. And $5 million is just not enough. We already have, what did you say, 7 million?
Yeah, the initial request forms show
Yeah,
that we're
7
right now
million to
requesting
8 million requests of people who have already put in forms. That's not enough. So all I'm concerned about with what's already allocated for home improvements, I would like for it to be spread throughout the city, but I don't want it, I want everybody to be able to have a piece of the pie. Amen. I don't want it to be based on your income. I don't want it to be based on your credit. I want everyone to be able to get a piece of the pie because this money is the people's money. And that's how I feel. Now, I don't know, Councilman Mays. I don't have my paperwork in front of me. I don't have my laptop up. I don't know how much has been already spent of the opera fund.
We started out with about 94 million or so. The federal government sent us about 94, 90-something million. 94.7. You did that on your show this morning.
Yes, so I don't know how much has been spent,
Well,
but I know that the residents should get some of it.
well, watch this. We probably have somewhere between probably 40-some million left to allocate. We probably spent 40 or 50 million and got about 40-some million left. I could call Mr. Dumas up and he can give you the exact figures. We sent 16 million to the land bank to tear down houses. We gave y'all 8 or 9 million in water credits. It was $300 a household. You remember that?
Yes, sir.
I tried to get y'all 600 to 1,000, but I got voted down, and it turned out 300 per household. If you drive down Miller Road from Ballinger on down by Powers, you'll see about 2.5 million in work on Ballinger Road. I was president. I tried to throw Ballinger Road some money. Then I brought the North Flint Food Market to get some money. They took theirs and wouldn't vote for ours. When you look at who's in this auditorium right now, I don't know why, but it's mostly black folk. Now, Flint ain't, it's majority black, but it should be other folks here too when it comes to this ARPA money. And we do see some other folks here. This money is to be allocated all across the city, black, white, young, old, so forth and so on. We also did 2.5 million and gave the employees at City Hall some bonus and premium pay. Police, fire, the clerk, everybody who worked in City Hall. I call it the COVID-19 money. You know, people have masks on now. We can't take our guards down because I know a lot of people who have passed during this pandemic. So the money was sent in a variety of categories for us to try to ease the pain and give relief to residents, employees, and others in our community in order to try to take care of business. It's only, I've been sitting here for about 10 years, and I've never seen money come in like this with the opportunity to pass to organizations, people, and so forth and so on. So I'm determined, and I'm gonna need your help. That's why we call this meeting. I'm determined to make sure that the residents, individual residents, get more of a fair share than the big shots. When I say the big shots, I refer to these organizations such as the Land Bank, organizations such as the Downtown Crowd, organizations that have the wherewithal to get money. I got a meeting Tuesday. Miss Edwards here? Where's Miss Jeanette Edwards? Miss Edwards, you back there? That's one of the stars of the First Ward Block Club. We got 7 or 8 of them. Miss Edwards and them always moving around in the First Ward doing stuff. So I went to their Block Club meeting. It's some state ARPA money. And I got an appointment myself Tuesday at 2 o'clock at Habitat for Humanity because we got to spend that money. And I'll be trying to get $4,000 to pay my property tax and $3,800 to pay off my water bill. What a country. So you got council people that utilizes these ARPA funds. And I mention that about Habitat because as we fight through and try to get monies from the city of Flint to help you, don't forget about the state ARPA money. And you can check in with Habitat for Humanity It's a guy named Terrence, and he making appointments. And each household can get up to about $25,000 of that money. If I do my property tax, beg your pardon? And so, you know, we got pots of money, and I wanted to share that when Miss Edwards and them shared that in their block club meeting for the state ARPA funds. I hurried up and made me an appointment at Habitat for Humanity to take care of, hopefully, my property tax and my water bill. And that's about $8,000. What I'm gonna do with the other $17,000? We'll see what it qualifies for. But this group here, the council, we make the rules on what the city of Flint money qualifies for. As Ms. Winfrey Carter say, we don't want it based on income. We don't want people left out. We want to point you in the right direction to get other resources, but we also want to make sure that we can leave a safety net with the money we have. How many people here, I asked how many had filled out the initial form. How many did not? Do you know if some of those initial forms here today? I don't even know what it is. Okay, well, we're going to make sure you do. On the Davina, is some of those initial forms on the back table? If you didn't fill one out and you want to look on the back table, they have one. Amen. Beg your pardon? Say what? Okay. Sir, you say you didn't fill one out. They're on the back table. And so before you leave, grab one, take it, look at it, and then bring it back to the city council office here on the 3rd floor, Monday through Friday from 8 to 5, because we don't want to take it per se today, because we want to be able to make copies and give you a copy when our whole staff is here. Okay. You know, so, beg your pardon? You've taken them? If she want to make copies, I'm going to let her. You want them, those who you want to process some today?
I can run a quick copy right now.
Okay, so if she takes them, we're going to try to make sure you got a copy before you leave. One of the controversies, and I criticize Channel 12, 25, M Live, the Flint Journal, and this is the criticism. If you go back and look on YouTube, February the 14th of 2022, it was Valentine's Day. Yeah. February 14th, 2022, I was the president of the council. And what I did, I introduced this initial form. The council voted on this initial form. And guess what the vote count was? 6 yes and 2 no. Mr. Murphy, you remember voting on that form? Well, let's continue to move on. 6 people voted for the form. It was Allie Herkenroder, Quincy Murphy, Liddell Lewis, Miss Priestley, Mr. Pfeiffer, and one more, Eva Worthing. And what blew my mind, this is the politics of this ARPA fund money. When they voted on the form and we printed it out and put it out, a couple of them was on the news saying it wasn't a real form. I say it's a real form. You can touch it, you can feel it. It was voted upon. Why would people go on the news, and why would the news blow it up and confuse the community? It ain't a real form. It's a real form. At the top, it says City Council Initial Form. We've been waiting on for a year for the administration to come out with some additional application and work. We heard it might be some additional stuff come out Monday. This meeting was called on a Saturday because whatever comes out, we're going to make sure, hopefully, in a first come, first served basis, that y'all are serviced. Right. You understand what we're doing? Y'all with me on this? Y'all gonna help me make sure that the members of this council honor that form? Right. You know how to do that, don't you? What's the day? Is Saturday? Yeah. You want to make sure they honor this form? Y'all from all across the city, different wards, correct? Right. If we tell you to show up on a Monday, show up. You see the people that's here now? Everybody knows somebody. If you show up on a Monday and they try not to honor this form, we'll sit here and talk to them. Everybody get 3 minutes. We'll sit and talk to them all night. That's the politics. Sometimes when you put us in these positions, you can't leave us out here by ourselves. We need your support to help you. Do we understand? Do it make sense? All right. Ms. Burns wanted to say something, and after that, I'm going to open up the floor for communications. I see your hand, ma'am. Ms. Burns, you want to say something?
Thank you, Councilman Mays. And to all of the Flint residents, thank you for taking your time to come here on a Saturday morning. I believe in transparency. Transparency is something that's important that I ran on, and I'm going to continue to fulfill that promise. This is not our money. This is the people's money. We have a responsibility to make sure that we are keeping in contact with the residents, the nonprofits, to let you know what's going on. In 14 months, we have not had one special meeting that we can convey and give you good information from our ARPA committee. 14 months. It is disappointing that Saginaw has been able to allocate all of their funds to residents. It's on the news, it's everywhere that they have taken the response. The mic is on.
Yeah, but they want to hear you. Speak directly into it so they can hear you.
Is that better? Well, we actually are spending some of our ARPA funds to improve our audio. So I want to say I want to be transparent. This is the residents' money. It's the people money. And we all have a responsibility. I'm thankful for my colleagues in the 3rd Ward, 5th Ward, and the 1st Ward for showing up here on a weekend, because they could be doing something else. So when we talk about we had a series of meetings. There were 4 meetings that we had from the city council that we went out on each side of town, the north, south, north, east, south, and west. And then the mayor had 4 meetings. I attended all 4 of ours and 2 of the mayor's meetings because I wanted to know what was going on to make sure I was able to share good information with the residents in the 6th Ward. We were supposed to get a form. We were promised February the 14th by our CFO. We would have a form in 7 days, which would have been February the 21st, 2021. We have yet to get that form, and we are supposed to get it released, I believe, Monday. That hasn't been conveyed. Our ARPA ad hoc committee is supposed to convey information to us, well, from the administration to us, and from us to the administration. We have not had that flow of information, and that's not the way it's supposed to be, especially when it's the people's money. Saginaw has done a great job of making sure it kept its residents in the loop and kept them abreast in their needs. They wanted upgrades, roofs, porch repairs, home repairs, and now their money has been allocated, and we don't even have an application out yet. So to me, that we could have done a lot better and should have done a lot better. So this initial form is not an illegal form. It is a form that was voted upon in the council, and it's on the record, and it's initial. It's an intake form because when we went out to the public, we didn't have anything except for notebook paper. And so there was no way to contact residents on. And so during that meeting, we came up with and went over things that were pertinent: your name, your address, your email, your phone number. Are you an individual? Are you a nonprofit? Are you a for-profit? Give us a short description. So this was the initial form so that we had something tangible to go back once the official form was ready. Now, I didn't think it would take 14 months for an official application. I didn't think that, but it is. And so this initial form is not an illegal form. It's initial. It's an intake form. You put your basic information down on it, and then until the official, because we had nothing. This money came as a result of a pandemic. And hopefully we don't ever have another pandemic again, hopefully. So for me, I want to be transparent. I want to see something good in this community. I like to see a few less blue tarps on roofs. I would like to see residents have some porches repaired. I like to see something good to where we see home ownership thrive again, where we see and strengthen our neighborhoods. These basic things make people care about their neighborhoods. Just like we gave $16 million to blight. We gave $3.25 million to redevelop the Buick site so that we can have Ashley Capital build over there. We gave $8.6 for water credits. So when we talk about what we're doing for the community, this is the community money. I want to see something for the residents. The residents are the ones who suffered through COVID. They suffered, and this is the money to do something good. I'm looking forward to hearing from the public because I take notes. I want to hear your voice. I understand who put me in my seat. I understand who can remove me from my seat, and that's why I make a point of working for the people, and I'm going to fight for the people. I'm going to fight for you. I'm going to make sure you get what's due to you. I'm going to make sure I'm transparent, because this is not our money. As much as we sit on this council, we may not get along. We need to make sure we're getting along and showing up for the ARPA money to make sure you get the money. That's our job. And I'm committed to doing my job to make sure you get it. So I'm looking forward to hearing what each resident who chooses to come to the podium to speak, because your matters, your concerns, they're important to me. Thank you.
Thank you. The main business that we want to do, let's do this. We've already asked how many people did the initial form. If you did it for home improvements, by a show of hands or standing up, show me the people who did it for home improvements. That's what I thought from what we had looked at. That's the majority of the requests that we had. How many people, is there anybody here in here filled out for business? Okay, so we've got some business as well. I'm gonna give y'all one example of a business request we had. Remember, these are grants. This money ain't to be paid back. One of the businesses that somebody put in for, I spent a lot of time, for those who know me, in the first ward at that store on the corner of DuPont and Pearson. It's a store on the corner of DuPont and Pearson. That store is selling for about $850,000, but it can make you $200,000–300,000 a year. I know somebody who put in for that to purchase that store, and hopefully they might get it. So you can do home improvements, you can do for-profit businesses, and then you can do nonprofits. Y'all been hearing a lot in the news about the House Esther. Mr. and Miss Penton, stand up. I'm fighting like heck for the House of Esther and that property that used to be St. Agnes. We took that property from the land bank. And we took 12 or 14 more houses with people living in them, and we trying to fight to get it back. Look, we're successful this day. This Saturday at 1, we are successful. We got close to 400 to 500 initial forms in. I would say we got, I don't want to count them, but I'm going to just estimate we got over 100 of those folks here. That's fantastic. We've been successful. You know why we've been successful? Because the best communication is word of mouth. I've told Channel 12 and the rest of the media, if you don't believe the form is real, go back and look at February 14th, Valentine's Day of last year, and look at the vote. And when you see people like Liddell Lewis and other council people saying it wasn't real, they're hypocrites. They voted for it. It's real. And what our job is, and we can't do it without you, this is the beginning. When we call and say we can allocate this money, this same 100 with 100 or two more, come forward. Hold this council accountable, make them make this money available for you. I think you got 3 votes. You might have 4, I don't know. Some people ain't saying that, and maybe they will before this meeting is over. But 5 votes allocates this money into the various categories. Now, the reason home improvement is so important, and one of the reasons we called you in, because look at this. If we allocate $16 million to the land bank, we vote, it go over there. If we allocate $2.5 million for Miller Road, we vote, it go over there. If we allocate $2.6 million to the employees, we vote, it show up on their check. But when we vote to allocate for home improvements, we got to get contractors. They got to do the work, and we want to hit the ground running hopefully by the spring, so a lot of this work can be done in the summertime. We'll find out if you can do roofs. We'll find out if you can do vinyl side, windows. I want to find out if you can do carpet and floors. All right. We know you can do furnaces and hot water heaters. Home improvements is the category. And we want to help that get done. But in that category, we have to start early so when the construction season starts, we'll be ready to hit the ground running. So I'm glad y'all came, because people gonna talk about this. If it had been 10 people here, they'd have think we don't know what we're talking about. But when you see the best we can through the media, we only called this meeting 2-3 days ago. When you see over 100 or so show up, when there's 400 to 500 applications in, and we continue to talk to our neighbors, when it come time, there'll be 300-400 people here saying to this council, we voted you in, we want you to vote for us. How about that? Do anybody have any questions or comments? And if so, just come forward and communicate, and we can get out of here. Because the thing that we want to do, we want to keep it simple. We want to not work you to death, because we have to work. Okay, I will. We have to work, and we have to be here, and we take our time to come, but we want to take as less of your time as possible, but we need you to help us. Go ahead, then I'll go see what Mr. Murphy
The first time I heard about Aqua, I thought it was like Aqua Velvet, was this morning on the radio. I ain't never heard of it in my life, and I need a whole lot of help. Okay, first I want to know, where did this money come from?
It came from the federal government, and they call it ARPA because those are the initials of the name of the money, American Rescue Plan Act. So they take the A, American, the R for rescue, the P for plan and act. And they just say ARPA money, but it's the American Rescue Plan Act money, came from the federal government to help out communities, school districts with people who had problems of any sort as we went through the COVID-19 pandemic.
Okay. They gonna help out people all over the United States or just people in Flint?
It has been helping out people all across the United States. Flint, in my opinion, is a little behind allocating part of the money to help out residents. And so we now want to do all we can to help our Flint residents benefit from the money.
Okay,
I don't want
so-
all the big shots to get it.
Right. So the 94 million that you was talking about, it goes all over the United States.
No, that's just for Flint. It's
Oh.
close to probably $1 trillion all across the United States.
Okay, I understand that. Okay, so how long has this money been available? Just been available this week or last month or what?
It's been available for about a couple of years,
Are you kidding me?
and we have another year or so to spend it. If we don't spend it in a timely manner,
Right.
it goes back to the
I
government.
know it. I just not heard about it. I heard about it this morning. The first time, and I need a whole lot of help. My toilet is going to the floor. I don't have a basement. My toilet, you can see the ground on my ground. I need a whole lot of help. I've never heard of this.
Well,
And
don't be shy. This is the time. Have you seen one of the initial forms?
Okay.
And turn it in. And we'll continue to help you with that information. Anything else?
Okay, would they help for like water utilities or things
You
like that?
put it down, and we gonna turn it into the compliance firm. We paying them $1 million to tell us what qualify and what don't.
Okay, because I think the toilet is falling through because of, the floor is being
Write it
molded.
down.
Got you.
All right. Mr. Murphy, is it
Yes.
something you want to say?
Yes. First, I want
Come
to
forward.
first I want to thank the public for coming out today. And first, I want to apologize for being late. My car caught on the flat, so I was able to catch a ride here. But I want to give you guys my thoughts on the ARPA application. We had when the ARPA dollars came out, we had a series of 4 community meetings. The first one was at Hasselbring on Home Street. When we first had the meeting, we did not have an application where you guys could fill out an application process. So my thought when I voted on the application, and some of my colleagues, and I think we have a difference of opinion on what we think the application was, we wanted to try to look at different categories on where we wanted to allocate and look at money. So when people were filling the applications out, those applications were, in my opinion, for those 4 meetings. Had we just did the application and say, okay, we go vote on the application for you guys to fill out to get help, those applications, we would have voted on that time, be like, okay, these is the applications for people to start filling out applications. My thought was that the applications is for us to get a general idea of where people looked at money when we went to those 4 community meetings. Had we did the applications and say, okay, you guys start filling these applications out, we could have voted on the applications in collaboration with the mayor and administration, because the simple fact that we both have to work together. We co-equal branches of government. The applications, we would have did a press release right then and there and say, okay, we got applications that we're going to have at these 4 meetings, and also you can come to the office and
fill out the applications. That was not my thought of what the applications was for. It was not until my colleague in the first ward did a thing. I guess it was on Facebook or YouTube or whatever, to be able to have people. Because next thing you know, we just got a lot of people in our office, and our office clerks just all of a sudden, our people started coming to the office to put in applications. And I never told anyone in the third ward that that application was the original application that you needed to put out, because I knew that the administration and the ad hoc committee was working with.
If I may, it says an initial council request form. It's a piece of paper taking in information on what people want. What people believe it is, what that, I don't want to get into that.
But what I'm saying, in all due respect, I sat here and I allowed you to speak.
No, you didn't allow me. I was voted and elected to speak.
So what I'm saying is, I listened to him explain to y'all what the application was. So I think it's just right for me as a council person to explain to you guys what I think, and some of my colleagues that's probably not here think. We thought that the applications was just to give us a general idea of where we wanted to start allocating money. One of the problems is we have a divided council. This application process is very divided. You got people believing that this application is the process, and when y'all apply for it, y'all will get some help.
Mr. Murphy, if I may, if there's additional information and paperwork, we will make sure this group get it first. This is a simple thing. There was initial forms. People have took time to turn them in. The question you have to ask yourself on the form you voted for, do you want to service this group first?
So
any additional anything.
In all due respect.
So now we ain't here for confusion.
In all due respect, Eric Mays, I allowed you to speak.
You didn't allow me. I called a meeting. I set this up. Quit saying that. Go ahead and speak. But quit saying you allowed me. Hell, I'm the senior councilman. I know what the hell I'm doing. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mr. Murphy. But you got people ready to speak. You were late.
So what I'm saying is, it's unfortunate that we're here today where people. What I'm telling you guys is the application that y'all filling out is not a guarantee to receive some assistance.
Depending on how you vote.
The application that the residents will be able to fill out to get some assistance will be coming out with the collaboration of the Community Foundation of Greater Flint and the
Mr. Murphy, can we hear from the public, and we can debate this in another meeting? Go ahead, sir.
If y'all want me to be honest and tell y'all the truth, that's what I'm here.
We all honest. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Hello?
Sir, go ahead.
Okay, my name is Kevin Wilson. My name is Kevin Wilson. I filled out the application.
The initial form.
The initial form. I filled out 3 of them and haven't been notified by anybody, haven't heard anything from anybody.
That's what this meeting is. We started to set up the process to notify the people with the initial form.
Okay. Yeah, I filled out the application. I filled out 3 of them.
The initial form.
The initial form. And haven't heard anything from anybody.
You're hearing it now.
I'm hearing it now.
You're here at a meeting today.
Yes,
We're
I am.
going to make sure everybody on those initial forms is contacted for filling them out and any further procedures. That's what we're here to communicate
Okay, I appreciate
today.
that. I appreciate this meeting. I am the CEO of Twin Peaks 28 Inc. Twin Peaks owns a property. I deal with ex-offenders. I'm an ex-offender myself. I did 28 years in federal prison. I came home and I have been busting my butt trying to do the right thing, trying to rebuild a city that I helped destroy, in a sense. I own property there on Saginaw Street. I own 2 pieces of property that I'm here today to talk about. I'm a bail bondsman. I'm a licensed bail bondsman, KW bail bondsman.
On the corner of
On the
Saginaw
corner
and
of Saginaw and
Pasadena. We've
Pasadena
talked
Street.
many times. I'm familiar with you. We're going to look at that request and we're going to see if we can help facilitate some of what your request is. That's what we're saying.
That is what I'm here for.
I understand.
Okay, right there, I'm wanting to, my mission is to build a rehab center there, a
But
physical
we'll see
therapy
if
rehab
that
center.
award get granted.
Okay, a physical therapy rehab center, and beautify that corner right across the street from Burston Fieldhouse. You know, they button $40 million.
I understand. I don't want to go through everybody's
Okay.
proposal
Okay.
today, but we are letting you know. You say you hadn't had contact from the initial form. We're giving it to you today. Each one of them will be looked at, and the votes of this council will determine who gets money allocated.
Okay, I also have another piece of property at 2401 North Saginaw Street, which is a car wash, right there on the corner of Dayton and Saginaw Street.
Dayton and Saginaw.
Okay, upstairs there, they have 3 apartments that's been vacant for 30 years.
Did
30
you
years.
apply for money to rehab that?
I applied for money to rehab them apartments. It wouldn't take much to rehab them. That's 3
Okay, well, you
families
got
off the
your
street.
amounts on the initial
I
form,
got the
right?
amounts on the form.
3 different forms.
I got, right.
And so we going to vote on them and see what happens.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you,
Thank
and
you. All right.
excuse me for
Y'all have a good day.
facilitating it, but I'm being fast and polite. But
Nope.
Mr. Wilson, you know we know you.
Okay.
Let's see what happens.
All right, all right.
You might have one vote. We'll see how it goes. Mr. Dumas,
My name is A.C. Dumas, and I'm a lifelong resident of the city of Flint. I was in the 3rd Ward until they changed the boundaries, and now I'm in the absent council person, Liddell Lewis's ward. And I just want to say, and I'll be very brief, that I also filled out the initial intake form. And I included in there, with the forms, estimates for what I needed for my residence. And I turned it in at a Flint City Council meeting, so you all have that. I just want to say these few words that I hope you all will safeguard the people's money, because we had $621 million lawsuit from the water crisis. We got nothing. We had close to $1 billion for the water crisis money. The YMCA of Metropolitan Lansing got money. All these other entities got money. And the residents of the city of Flint got nothing. And as you all have said, $16 million went to the land bank for demolition. And yet, black contractors are having a hard time to even be pre-qualified to tear down the houses. And these are Flint contractors of city of Flint, $16 million. That's sad. 8.9, we got the $300 water credits. I got one. 3.25 for the Buick City redevelopment. 2.8 for premium pay for our workers. Miller Road, $2.5 for Miller Road. And the only thing I'm saying, and this money has to be allocated by December the 31st, 2024. I'm just saying this. It's time out that our elected officials from the city of Flint look out for the people that elected them.
And we want the people to help us look out for them,
Well-
and this is the beginning.
Okay. And as I wrap up, Mr. Mays, you know how it is as you wrap up. You know how your wrap-ups are in council meeting. As I wrap up, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dumas. Ma'am,
My name is Raylander Jones Thomas, and
go ahead and make sure you speak.
And I live in the 3rd Ward, and the initial paper, I turned it in August. But
Good.
when I turned it in, what I was telling people, because I took a lot of copies to people, get an estimate for what they needed for their home improvements. You know, don't just say, I need money. Everybody need money. Call some, I said free estimates, but get an estimate on what you need. So I don't know, was I doing the right thing or the wrong thing?
You've done the right thing, and once you turn in that initial form, just like everybody else, when it get closer to
When it get closer.
allocating the money, you will be contacted, and we will tell you if you need additional estimates. We'll make sure everything is on the proper form. But those initial forms is giving us guidance on how to contact you and what additional information you might need.
That's what the
we
lady
want you to
said.
be successful.
She
Our
said
job
that.
is to help you be successful.
I was just wanting to know, was I doing the right thing by telling them to get some estimates? Don't just write down, I need $5,000.
You've done the right thing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, how y'all doing, Council? Rodney Thomas, 1st Ward.
Used to be the first war.
Yeah, anyway, I don't really do good at speaking in public, but I'm going to give it my best shot. I got to speak on habitat. See, my sister and I, well, she stayed, I'm in the 1st Ward on Philadelphia. She stayed
The
on Moore Street.
boundaries have changed. You might be
See,
in the
what?
3rd ward now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, 3rd Ward or whatever. The point I'm making is that we filled out with Habitat twice, gave them all our information, did everything that they required us to do, and then we turned in everything. You know what I'm saying? They got all our information, told us we can get this money, and then once we got everything turned in, we took a lot of time to get all this information for them. And then once we got the information, nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Could I say this? And that's why I'm watching this process. If you get all of the people who've applied for home improvements, and if 5 council people say we want to vote for Habitat to administer that, it could throw some things off. We'll see who administers that. Some people might not want Habitat to administer that.
Yeah, me.
And so I'm hearing you, and I want you to continue, because that's one of the decisions we have to make. We've got the initial forms. We see what people want to do. Now we've got to vote to see what's the next step to administer that and what additional information, and do we need an organization such as Habitat to administer that? You remember Flint Nip?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see if we create somebody to administer that. But go ahead.
Yeah, that's pretty much, and again, I represent peacekeepers here in Flint. That's why I got this bright orange on. I really don't like it. It's too bright, dark as I am. You know, just stand up like it's so dumb, but hey, it is what it is. And I'm also part of Black Lives Matter chapter here and with the Peace Corps. So I'm trying to do my part. You know, I messed up a few things around here, but I'm trying to make it right now. So thank you for allowing me to speak. And
Oh, you've done a good work, and I hate to lose you in the 1st Ward to the 3rd Ward because you've been out on the front lines. But continue to communicate, because we've got to make a decision as to who is going to administer this program that's going to do it right and fair for the people. Thank you so much.
thank you. And 2, I might be playing with a little money, try to get my own little thing going on. So I'm
Say
gonna put
that again.
I might be trying to get a little grant money, get my little own business, like a mobile detailing.
This is the time.
Okay, so I'm gonna put that on the application as well.
Put it in, and
Okay.
we'll see who gets what.
Do it have to be on a separate form? Or I could just include
If it's
that.
home improvement in one category, I would do the business one in another form in that category.
Got it. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. Good afternoon, sir. Look like we'll be getting out of here pretty quick. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you for allowing me to be here. I'm Dr. Smith. I'm a resident of the city of Flint, and I'm also a business owner that operate in the city of Flint for over 10 years, actually 20. My question first is going to be directed towards that application process. I've been kind of following this for the last, year or so or more, and thank you for advising me on how to get that application and make it go.
Did you do the initial form?
Yes, I did.
And so now we're trying to push the council and the mayor's office and anybody concerned to let's get to the second step now, and so we can start getting ready to allocate that money. Go ahead.
Okay, and I understand and appreciate those actions. My question is a two-part question for the form, and then I have a concern as a resident I want to bring. Okay, now that ARPA fund, which is the American Rescue Plan Act, is a federal government initiative that was made a law, and that money was dispersed throughout the United States. Okay, we've got a portion of that money here in the city of Flint that's allocated for that. That money has since been divvied out.
Part of it.
Part of it, what I'm saying. Now, that money that's already been divvied out, I didn't hear a second application for that $16 million that went to Habitat. Okay, and they've got $16 million and haven't spent a dime of it.
Would you say that again? Listen to his point.
Okay, now what I'm saying is this: that
And
money
I'm gonna
for
repeat
Habitat, $16 million has been already
Land
divvied
bank,
out.
yeah.
For the land bank, excuse me, for the land bank, it's already been divvied out. And I didn't hear anything in the news about them having a second application and all of these other entities that have already received some of that $94+ million that they've already dispersed $50 million of it. Then when it
Now, I'm going to want you to proceed, but listen to what he's saying. He said something profound. He said all the big shots who got that money didn't have to do no initial form. They just came before council and made a request, and people voted. That's what certain folks do. They bend over backwards for the big shots. But when it comes to us little shots, they want us to do this and do that. And guess who controlled that money? 5 votes. So go ahead. You made a profound statement, but continue.
Now, related to that application, now it's public record, seeing that it was announced here. I listened to this program.
The initial form. Call it the initial form.
The initial form, on which, as was said here, on Valentine's Day, there were votes that put that initial form into an official capacity.
That's correct.
Okay, so if it's in official capacity, then everything that you said, sir, forgive me, today that I've heard is of none effect, because that form is on record. Hold on, I'm speaking now.
Okay.
Okay, now that official form was brought in by the vote of the council on February 14th. Okay, so that was nothing done to nulligate any of that to the date, to this time. So everything that you're speaking about is really of none effect, because that form is official form. My question, I got a question that goes with this from that information. Now, everybody that filled out that form, that are some representatives here today, including myself for business and personal, or as a resident, can that information from those forms, since we have filled them out, be transferred to the form that y'all come up with without us having to go through and fill out a whole new form, since that's an official form and it has been approved and been filled out by the residents?
There you go. And I think...
Hold on. But let me come back, because that's your interpretation of what you think our majority of this council saying. So what you saying with the form is a form that we voted on, but your interpretation of what you believe that majority of this council saying the forum was for it is not true. It's
His
not accurate. So
interpretation.
while you saying what you saying, I respect what you saying, but I have to come back as a person that's sitting here and let you know that that forum was for the 4 community meetings that we had. It's just a matter of what you think the interpretation of the council people is. If you come back on Monday and ask this council people, did we all vote and say this forum was the forum? That is not true. That's what I'm telling you, and I'd rather tell you the truth than sit up here and lie to you and make you think the form that you was filling out is the form that you, and then it ain't gonna do nothing but make you be more frustrated. And I don't want you to be frustrated. I want to tell you the truth.
Gentlemen, sir, Mr. Murphy, your interpretation is my interpretation. Once you filled out that official input form, any additional stuff, we want to make sure everybody, including you who fill that out, get assisted to do what's left and next. Why certain people on the council keep bucking against the initial legal form that was voted upon trips me out. So this is an initial form. The meeting is here today. We'll have more, but just like you got 100 people here, it's 400 to 500 people filled out that initial form. They must help some of us keep folks' feet to the fire to make sure first come, first served, that people will have all the assistance they need moving forward. Go ahead, sir.
Okay,
Sir,
answer.
can I just want to speak for a moment? Because for me, this is really a listening session to listen to what, the issues are. Thank you for filling out the form. And it states right on the form that it is an initial form. One thing that we do know going in, that there would be more information required, but you also do have a point that the land bank, we did not have a form. That was voted on by resolution, and that money was transferred that way. So that money was done by resolution. Taking 500 forms, we couldn't put that on the resolution. So there will be more information that's going to be required that's not on here, like your social security number, your EIN number. So there's other information that you could, this information is the initial and basic information, which will have to be transferred over to the application, which I believe they said it is about a 7-page application. And I believe there's a checklist down at the bottom, because on here, there's no personal, or there's basic information, but there's nothing tying to you to your tax ID number or your social security number.
As we continue through the process, I think everybody here got common sense and they hear what's going on. As we continue through the process, keep this in mind. When this stuff started happening, we was in the middle of elections. Now you got to listen to what I'm saying. This is a political arena. You got certain politicians who want credit. Ain't nobody should not want y'all to get the money, but they want to be the ones who say, I'm finna give it to you. That's the politics of it. So you got to understand, when you hear folk talking, what politician don't want to serve hundreds of residents when they can? The problem is they want to be the I did it. And so that's where the problem comes in. It should be we did it. And so if we stick together, use common sense, that's the initial form. Any additional information, everybody should be on the same page. And just like we do anything else, when there's additional information needed from you, we call you in. If additional information is needed from her, we call them in. If additional information is needed from him, we call them in. It's common sense. But when you get into the politics of politicians wanting to be, I did it, that's where the confusion comes. Our job is to make sure that everybody who's done that initial form is serviced, and any additional people is serviced, and my position is first come, first served. Thank you, sir. Anything else you want to say?
Yes, I wanted to address bring up the second situation so that y'all can address it. But I also want to say to Quincy Murphy, Mr. Murphy, Councilman. Okay, I addressed myself when I came in here this morning as Dr. Smith. My doctorate is in business administration. I hold 2 licenses in the state of Michigan, one for nursing and one for licensed nursing home administrator. I am well qualified. My interpretation is actually better and more qualified than yours. Because you can ask the state, that's why I got that license, okay? And when I read through that paperwork, I'm also a paralegal, okay? You can look at my resume, 5 pages, 6 pages, and all of it can be proven. Nothing about my resume is where you can't prove where I've been, what I've done, and what I say I am, okay? So what I'm saying is this. When I read all of this information and saw it, okay, my interpretation as a doctor is that what I just said is true. It'll stand up in any court. I will be here Monday if the meeting will be in a time that I can make it here, okay? Now, 2, moving forward, I would like to just mention the people that want to stand up to politicians and say, I did it. Yeah, I did it. Well, in Flint, this is what they did for me. They made me let them dig my grass up, okay, and tear up my sidewalk, bust up my irrigation system to check for pipes that they found out, oh, we didn't even need to do that. But they made me sign the forms and admit that if they didn't have the repairs done right, that they were not responsible. Guess what? That was over 2 years ago. Okay, my irrigation system covers my front and back property. Now I haven't watered my grass for over 2 years. Okay, so as a resident, I'm like, okay, give me some of that money to fix what you didn't. I walked with and worked with the city. They came out, looked at it, patched 2 patches of cement, but they didn't redo my grass at all.
What part of town you on?
On that same part that Miller Road where y'all put and fixed our streets.
Let's talk.
Dr. Smith, you may be in my ward now. If you can let me know which street,
Yeah, we
I'll
can
get that
help you
taken
with
care
that.
of for you. I will assist you.
Okay.
But I don't want you to give your address over the mic.
Okay.
Just make sure before you leave,
Yeah.
give it to me, and
We
I
know
will.
we can help you
yeah,
with that.
Our ward boundaries did change, and I can assist you with that.
Well,
sir.
I appreciate that.
All right.
Okay, and
We
with
gon-
that, I'll be done, but you will see me.
And we're going to go through these 4 or 5 people. We're going to make sure
Thank you.
everybody got an understanding. We're going to disperse with knowledge and information, and we're going to disperse
All right.
with a cohesiveness that we're going to stick together and make this thing work. Go ahead, sir.
All right. Thank you, Council. Papa Jed, Pastor, Dumas, all the senior citizens and the people come out. I don't come out here, but I'm used to adversity. Brother Murphy, me and you went to Jefferson together, brother. I'm ashamed of you, man. I really am.
What's your name?
It ain't got nothing to do with my name. I'm ashamed of you. I grew up on Marengo Street like you, came from across the track, came from Flint, and all this. You down here, it's just, these 3 right here is speaking of for the black, white, brown, everybody. Y'all got everything stuck up. Where they at? Where Pfeiffer? They might work. Where Presley? Where, don't call them the Fab Five no more, because the Fab Five work together to win championships. They ain't win no championship down here. They ain't win no championship down here. Don't give them that name no more, man. Man, I'm surprised at you, bro. For real. It ain't got nothing to do with that. It's just, when it's solid, it's solid. And it's like, when it work, it work. When it don't, it don't. And people need their house done. Man, this money come from the pedal. Man, look, Biden and Trump ain't killing each other, fighting and fussing. We down here in the little city of Flint, arguing, fussing and fighting, and ain't nothing getting done. These cracks still getting billions of dollars. Come on, man, make it make sense. Say what? Everything comes off from Flint. I know who you is. Okay, well, I'm from Flint.
Well, let me do it this
I'm from
way.
Flint.
Let me do it.
I'm saying
Hold
this.
up. Let me,
I
hold up.
ain't
Hold
try-
up.
I'm
Let-
just saying-
Hold up. Let
Come
me
on.
do it this way. I can appreciate that debate and communication.
Man,
I'm
look.
going to let you continue, and
I
we'll
watch
take it.
this all the time.
But ma'am, but you
Okay,
can
but
come up and speak.
You
Let's
not a
not
council
do
person,
that
though.
because y'all
You his
related.
sister. You're not a council person. Right.
Yeah.
He's a council person. So he hails at a different standard than we are out here in Flint, Michigan. Okay? And I understand that. And I get it. Because everybody got their point of view. When that brother just spilled his guts out, peeling his whole resume out, He filled his whole resume out. You know what you was doing? You was on the phone. You ain't caring about what he's saying. And see, if you talking to me, I'm gonna look you dead in your eye. If you talking to me, I'm gonna look you dead in your eye, bro. I'm just saying it's mutual respect. And I grew up with you. You probably don't remember me. I grew up with you, for real. But I don't, what? Okay, anyway. I'm just saying, man, look, just get it together, bro. So everybody, so we can move this progress. Because the money came. Just get it together. That's all I'm saying, bro. I love you as a brother. Real talk. I don't have no, only thing I'm saying, get it together down here. Because we all started together.
We put together 5 votes, we win. Thank you, sir.
Let me respond to him since you brought my name up. First of all, my name is Carl Lewis. Well, Carl Lewis, I never heard of your name until you just said this. And hold on, let me finish. You talk, and I let you talk. We didn't grow up together, and we didn't go to school together because me and you are not the same age. And even if you did grow up on Marengo Street, I don't remember you. So we did not have any kind of connection together growing up. So I just want to clear that up. What I also want to make sure that I let you know that I don't want you to think that Councilman Murphy don't want people to get some money. I want people to get some money, and I look forward to people getting some money. But you talk, so I'm just trying to finish it, because, I mean, it's okay for you to think what you think I feel. Councilman Murphy want to make sure everybody get their homes fixed and all that, but I want to do it the right way, and I want to make sure that people get the right information. I want to help people, so I don't want you to think that I'm down here trying to block people from getting money. I do want people to get some money. I want people to eat. I want my neighborhood to come up. So I just want you to, you said what you said about me. I never met you before, and for us to grow up together, I ain't never seen you a day in my life on Marengo Street where I grew up at. But okay, if you might have grew up with my family, but what I don't want you to leave here and think that Councilman Murphy don't want people to get money. I do want people to get money, and I've been on the phone with people like Kevin and the other businesses that's been calling me. I want to make sure that they get it. I'm just saying.
I want to see how the votes.
I don't want you to leave here thinking that I don't want people to get money. I want them to get it the right way, and I want the stuff. I want the process, so I'm following this application. I'm following the other applications, and I'm going to make sure people in my ward get some help with their houses and their businesses.
Hallelujah.
So I don't want you to think that because I don't agree with this application process, I don't want people to get some money. I do want them to get some money. I just want them to get it the right way.
Hold up.
I just want them to get it the right way. And I'm going to make sure my ward gets some help.
Points have been made.
I'm going to make sure.
Points have been made.
I'm just saying.
We'll see how people
you grew up with
vote.
me. I don't know you.
Points have been made. We'll see how people vote. Keep these conversations in mind. I like it, ma'am. Say what you say.
My name is Bethany
and we gonna
Hazard.
get out of here. Go ahead.
My name is Bethany Hazard. I live.
Speak in the mic.
I was in Ward 8, but now I'm in Ward 6. I'm at Mrs. Burns over the Facebook. And
Speak directly into the mic.
this is the first time I heard about people getting help, and I'm thankful for that. To find out about this.
Amen.
And so I'm too have lived where I saw where nobody cared about the people of Flint. That's how I feel. And so I watched as they redid the Capitol, and just recently they tore down a bunch of buildings downtown with their blight money to put for-profit apartments downtown and stuff like that going on forever around here. And I'm living around blighted houses, burned down houses. When this first started happening in my neighborhood, I went to meetings. They told us they wouldn't mow the parks in my neighborhood. Then I decided to go to a planning meeting. They were planning on building a park downtown. I thought I'd ask a valid question. I said, why are you planning on building a park downtown when you don't take care of the ones you got? I was shot down. They asked me who I was and why I was here. Well, it said an open meeting then. And so I see this going on all the time here. And I asked them not to put so many liquor stores around my house, and they refused. They said they could put a liquor store anywhere they wanted. There's 5 liquor stores in a 1-mile area in my neighborhood.
You know I know you. Let me ask you this question. How do you feel about people applying for home improvement?
Yes, I put in, I can't afford to paint my house. I'm on disability through my job at the VA. And my house, the peelings paint, and my basement leaks, and I would like some windows fixed. So,
You put in the initial
yeah,
form.
I had no clue how much to ask. I don't know how much that stuff
We'll
costs.
get to that. We'll help you.
And I've lived here a long time, and it's sad to me to see what they did. And then now I see where they shut our mini station down, and they said all the mini stations had to close. At the same time, they were building a brand new one near Kettering and in that neighborhood. That's because of gentrification. They don't give a crap about us. They put the liquor stores around my
We'll
neighborhood.
get there.
Yeah.
Ms. Hazard,
Let's-
I will, since you are in my ward, and we are Facebook friends, I
Yeah.
think as of a week ago, and you, with the ward boundary changes, you are now in my ward.
I'm in your ward.
You're in my ward, and I will address, because there are some programs that are also available. I will personally give you a call. Shoot me, absolutely, and I'll come, and I will help do a walkthrough with your home to see what you need.
I don't know how much things cost.
Yeah, and that's fine, because we
We'll
can
find
go
out.
through and address, certain things, and we can find that part out. So, shoot me did you give me your number on, your
Yeah,
social media?
in the Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you can do me a favor, shoot me another message, and then I'll call you to make a point of getting over to your home.
Okay. Yeah, and I don't even know where the words are anymore. I'm
All
lost.
right. Thank you
Thank
so.
you.
Thank you so much. Stay tuned. We're going to help you with that process. Yes, ma'am. Look
Tracy Frazier, 4th Ward. First off, I'm going to say peace be still.
Peace be still.
Peace be still for y'all today, and every other day y'all come in here and do the business of the city.
Amen.
I think I echo the sentiments of all the residents here is we are a bit tired of waiting. Okay, is this better? Okay. I echo the sentiments of the residents here that we are tired of waiting. Saginaw has already allocated all of their funds. We have other entities here that has gotten funds fairly quickly. It's been 14 months. So I think I speak not only for myself, but everybody. We would like to see a detailed timeline on when the applications will be available, when they will be reviewed. Will you guys put together a committee to go through these applications? And I was just listening to the woman who was talking about her toilet maybe falling through the floor. I'm quite sure there's a lot of people here that got some time-sensitive things that need to be addressed. So we need that outline. And then my question was, if I'm not mistaken, because I filled out one of the first forms, is this for data purposes to see or to measure how much to allocate in each area?
Let me say this. We're paying a firm $1 million
Yeah,
to go through these forms.
Right.
We don't need a committee.
okay.
We paying somebody $1 million. They can look at your form and tell you if what you're requesting qualifies. They've already done that. I asked them to do it, and they've done that. We know it's 7.6 million requested. We don't need a committee because 5 or more votes of this council allocates that money. Just like we voted in a week to give 16 million to the land bank, we can vote in a week to allocate this money to y'all. The compliance firm, I'm gonna take a breath, the compliance firm can help you with any details, any additional information, and we could be moving. So I'm hearing you say committees, I'm hearing you say this. I'm telling you what we can do for each person, for each group, if we choose to do it, and it's all controlled by 5 or more votes of this council. Proceed.
Understood, Mr. Mays. But if I'm not mistaken, I have heard you on the record complain numerous times about this firm that is being paid and their timeliness of providing services.
Yeah, we had to crack the whip on them because you had other folks in the administration, which is the mayor's office. You had folks on the council that wasn't putting them to work. We approved them for $1 million last year. They only spent $300,000. They could have spent $300,000-$400,000 going through all of these 400. So I have cracked the whip on them. I said they need to do more. They've committed to me now saying, we'll make sure these people is contacted who did the initial form. And so hopefully we're starting to push people on the same page, because you're 100% right. If we can allocate to the big shots in a week, we should be moving to help y'all in 2 weeks or sooner. So you on point, but how we get there, we don't need to form committees. We don't need to do, we got stuff in place. It's the political will of some politicians.
Okay, now my last question, and thank you for that clarification, Mr. Mays. For those, and I hear first come, first serve. So for those who have submitted the initial form, it's not an actual application. So how does the process look for us submitting the actual 7 or so page application, and how would that take place with it being a first come, first serve type of situation?
Let me say this. Let's say all of a sudden I got tired of waiting, and I said to the compliance firm, I don't care if it's 3 pages or 7 pages, we paying you, create the form. They would have created it, but you had people in the mayor's office, you had certain council people saying since last February, we're going to give you something in 7 days. It's been way past 7 days. It's been almost a year. So let's say right now, that's a legitimate intake initial form. And so I wouldn't care if it's 3 pages, 4 pages, or 7 pages. Until somebody produce it, we don't know how many pages it is. Now let's say I'll tell you this because you on point. If in a week or 2 they haven't presented a additional form, you'll see me call Ernst & Young, the $1 million compliance firm before this council, and say, poppycock, you create the form. We paying you to create the additional information, and you'll see me move that. But I done waited and believed some folks, and they ain't did nothing. So that's why we call this meeting, and we're glad to hear from you and others who waited patiently. It's time to start raising some hell.
Okay, Ms. Frazier, hold on just a second, because I do want to clarify. We do have Ernst & Young, and they have submitted, so I don't want people to think your information from these initial forms, they have already started creating a spreadsheet. So in the spreadsheet, the first category, and I'm looking at it right now, it says the person's name. The next column, column B, is individual or nonprofit or for-profit. The next category is project description. Then it's simplified description. Then it goes to how much requesting. Then the next category, F, what program does this fall under? Then there's additional comments. And it's 2 categories for additional comments. So they have been taking your information.
That's correct.
When this information comes in, our council, our city clerk, makes sure that Ernst & Young gets this initial form. And then when they get this initial form, it is put on a spreadsheet. So that your information, this is useful, this has value. So this form is taking this information, transferring it over. So this is not a form that's, it is a form that is being used. So, and they're breaking it down. If there's request different, more information, they're putting that in, putting in an additional comments. So I want that to be clear that this information has been by Ernst & Young, the compliance firm. They have been putting this information on an Excel spreadsheet because they're doing their job. So when you fill these out, it goes from there to Ernst & Young, and then they put it on the spreadsheet. Now, we have not been updated by our ARPA ad hoc committee. They haven't had a meeting. And they should have had a meeting to keep the public aware, because this is your money. It's very reasonable that residents feel that they're not going to get a fair share, because Flint has not gotten its fair share for the residents. They didn't, that $1 billion came in here, none of it was spent on the residents. It went for economic development. Residents also did not get the lawsuit money, where the $600 million, and they keep chipping away at that. Haven't gotten anything from that. Then, so to think that we're not going to get anything for the ARPA funds, it's a reasonable expectation that Flint residents won't get anything again. And I'm going to fight for you. I'm going to fight for you.
I appreciate that.
So don't let none of it confuse you. The compliance firm has been doing what we've asked. We know who's who, what's what, how much, whatever, and we moving forward.
Okay, my last thing, and I'm gonna let y'all go, because I
Well,
want to,
no, we work for you. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Will the public have a draft or some type of timeline that we can kind of base off of? Because what I want people to be able to do, because it is time-sensitive things that people need help with. I'm still thinking about the woman in her toilet about to fall in her basement. I think if that timeline is provided, then that way people can seek alternative resources to get help.
Well, let me say this. We've sat on this money for a couple years. We called this meeting on a Saturday. That's telling you that Councilman Mays and some others is finna push.
All right.
We know that this construction and home improvement stuff takes a period of time to set up contracts. I don't know if it'll be timely for everybody, and they might have to seek something else, but we're trying to get it in place now. And we called it for this Saturday because Mr. Murphy mentioned in the last meeting that he had heard, we didn't hear it, that the administration is going to put out this Monday. And if you listen close, they've been saying, we're going to have a press release. We're going to put out an application for nonprofits. They didn't say for individuals. The media will tell you when you look Monday, this coming up Monday, the reason we're here on Saturday, they didn't want us to be here. But Mr. Murphy had some information. When we got it, we called it Saturday meeting. And we called it because we know if we didn't, by Monday, y'all would be so confused and ripping and running, and we're hearing that the application might be for nonprofits. We're focused on the individuals right now, and I'm calling the individuals us, the little folks. Nonprofits, the land bank, the big shots, they can take care of themselves. So we will move in a timely manner, and it's going to be, if need be, a fight where we'll call y'all in to a regular meeting, and y'all will help us push this through.
Okay.
We could be at 4 or 5 votes, but when we hit 5, bingo.
All right, well, peace be still again. Today and every other day, y'all come together, and I hope y'all just find a way to work and get it done, because I be stressing for y'all. I'm stressing because I'm a property owner, I'm a business owner, but I really want all y'all to just come together, please.
Ms. Winfrey Carter wanted to say something, but when you keep saying that, I want to hear the church say amen. Amen. Go ahead, Ms.
Ms. Tracy, and with the form, while that form is an initial form, I also felt like they should have used that form to look at the budget, okay? Because I'm going to say it again, $5 million is not enough for home improvements. When we have everybody in this room right here and everybody throughout the whole city need improvements. So yeah, that's a good form, but they should have also looked at that form to set the budget that was voted on as far as the ARPA dollars.
And we can amend it from $5 million to $7 million to $15 million. Watch it end up somewhere around $15 million.
It's
Thank
going
you
to be
so
that
much.
much.
All right,
Thank
y'all.
Next, we getting there. We've lost some folks. We've
Hello.
communicated. Remember, we are the nucleus group. Go ahead.
Hello, I'm Cherie Stapleton. I'm standing for the small nonprofits. I'm here today because of what was given in the news. I just want to know that if I submitted this paperwork and if it went before you, that you saw it, because I didn't hear anything.
Mr. There was no, there are people like on our spreadsheet, and as I stated, we have not had one ARPA meeting update, and we have an ad hoc committee. That information should have been updated. We should have been updated. Councilman Murphy did share with us at our last meeting that there was supposed to be an application released on Monday. We had no knowledge of anything. So we are operating in a very gray area to where no information has been given to us or shared, even from our own ad hoc committee, our members who sit on here. So hopefully today, it was the hope that we would take care of it. They had stated that they were going to talk about it at the last meeting. Our finance chair, she abruptly adjourned the meeting, and we didn't handle the business. She closed that meeting. It should have been handled last Wednesday. She said she had some information to convey, and it wasn't done. Okay. And we went on to our next committee meeting. So we were still here to handle the business, but the finance information or the information on the agenda should have been handled, because this was one of the items that was on there. Okay. And this is very important. Okay. So no one has been contacted. Okay. We haven't been contacted. Okay. Our ad hoc committee has not shared with us so that we can share with you. Okay. And that's what the purpose of an ad hoc committee is. We convey to them, they convey to the administration, but it's not operating in that process in which the way that it is designed to be.
Okay, because I know I filled out a couple of these, because I've been at every last one of the meetings. So if I give this to you today, I will be on record that I put my information in.
When you turn it in, we don't do you're going to get a copy of it from the clerk. The clerk scans it, and then she sends it to Ernst & Young, the compliance firm. There are people who are on this list, and I'm sharing the list, now that that this information is put on the spreadsheet, because I want people to know this form has value. Your information is not just sitting on a form somewhere gathering dust. It's not. It is actually being conveyed, and it's on these, and it's going to the compliance firm. Okay. And they're putting and categorizing and preparing for this. So this is not just sitting there not doing nothing. I don't want people to think that, because that's not what's happening. So
that's all I want to know.
Yeah.
I want to be able to provide services. That's for the families that we are talking about today. That's why I'm here today.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello, Council. My name is Tia Harris, and I want to say a few things before I get to the ARPA. First of all, Council are elected by the citizens. So the council is supposed to be doing the business of the citizens, not talking about it, but being about it. And since this new council is here, there are a lot of people that are on the council who really don't know how the business works down here. And instead of you taking time to do your due diligence to learn and ask senior counsel, seems like a lot of people have attitudes, Quincy being one. That's right. So there should never be a time where a council person should sit up here and say, it is my understanding. No, it is your job to know, not to understand, but to know. So with these forms here that I'm just now being able to fill out, it seems to me that no money should have left the ARPA funds without the citizens being taken care of first. And it is my position that no money should leave unless the citizens is taken care of next. Now, I sit at home and watch the council meetings. I'm not a social media person. I don't do any social nothing, but I do watch the meetings. And it is my opinion that there are 3 council people that really do sit here and tend to do the business of the citizens, one being Eric Mays, my council person, the other being Ms. Winfrey Carter, and the other being Ms. Tanya Burns here. That is my opinion. And in my opinion, if people would mature, not just be grown, but would mature, then you could all work together to do the business of the citizens of the city of Flint. So having said that, I will excuse myself, but please do think about that. The citizens are what make you guys have a job, and you're supposed to be working for us.
Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I'm Audrey Muhammad. I have a couple of concerns with the ARPA funds, and riding on the back of my sister that just got through come up here speaking, we do have to make sure that the citizens are taken care of. I listened to Beth Hazard come up here, and she's one of our senior citizens, and I thank you, Ms. Burns, for standing up, for Councilman Burns for standing up and saying, hey, I will help you. We have a lot of our citizens here who need help. They need help and assistance. It's just not the, right, it's just not the seniors. There's some of our, and it's things that I'm learning. And I think that know a lot, but it's things that I'm learning as I go along on what it is that we need to have taken care of. You know, furnace, hot water tanks, those are the common things. But then you got roofs. You got the lady who said that her toilet was falling through her floor. I mean, those kind of things need to be taken care of, definitely taken care of. We got other things like our water still is not fixed. So I'm going to tell you about me for a second. I have a whole house filtration system, and I've had it put in since 2016 when the crisis first was announced. My filter need to be replaced less than a year. They say they'll last a year, but I have to get it done in less than a year. It's $150 to get those filters changed. That makes your water bill goes up because now you're losing things and elements that's in the water that shouldn't be in the water. You're losing that because they pumping out whatever it is that's coming from the water plant. Now, just here several months ago, I needed to get my filter replaced. I had rashes develop again on my hands, burning sensation. I got pictures of the rashes. And this is what happens when you don't get them changed. And we arguing over funds where it should go, and our water is still tainted. It's still not fixed. The first thing people ask me when I go, because I do a travel position, they ask me, oh, you from Flint, did they ever get y'all water fixed? That's the first thing that they're asking, and they are really concerned in other places because they know we still have tainted water that we're using. It's not just about the drinking. It's not just about the cooking. It's what's going on your skin, your largest organ in your body. It was necessary to do that cancer cluster study the other day because the elements that's in the water is causing cancer. I don't know if you all know it. I have lost several relatives to cancer since the water cluster, since the water situation has started. And you can't convince me that the water ain't the biggest problem with causing cancer. We have to do better by that. Now I'm going to tell you about Ernst & Young. Council come together and set expectations for them, because if you've had people filling out these forms for this long, there should have been some feedback. Come on, that's business 101. There should have been some feedback going to the community. You got a community of 80,000 plus people. It was 90,000, now it's down to 80-some thousand, maybe lower than that now. But you got people who are concerned and they're asking tangible questions. It's disheartening to see all of these seats in here that's not filled. My council person ain't here. She should have been here. If you couldn't make it to this meeting, don't come in with no piss poor excuse that you already had plans. Come in and tell us, I'd had plans, but I can make plans for another day. And set another day that you could come in here and address the people who pay you your salary for being in here and serving them. You ran on a campaign that you was gonna serve the community. Come in here and sit in your seats and serve the community. It's time out for all of this. All of this shenanigans with messing over people and their monies. We already know the money that came in here for the water crisis, the people didn't even see it. I'm not even talking about the lawsuit. I'm talking about the billions of dollars that was donated by philanthropists to give to the people to make sure they was taken care of. Every house should have had a whole house filtration system was set up where they could have those filters changed for years. I remember standing right at this podium and telling the people, in 2016. Don't expect this to get taken care of in a couple of years. You can expect at least 10 years. Where are we sitting at right now? We're sitting at 7 years since it's been announced, but it's been almost 9 years since it started. And we still haven't, did we get the pipes fixed? Did all of them get replaced? They still ain't replaced. Why? Something simple as that. Why are they not replaced? And we got qualified people around here, qualified people around the country that can do it. And we still don't have it done. People still complaining about the sidewalks, trees uprooting the sidewalks. And when we arguing over funds, let's be for real. Let's take care of our citizens. They are the ones that's hurting. That means we appeal to you all. We appeal to every single one of you all. We know the great work that some of you all have done. Was it a show to get in these seats? That's what I'm questioning. Did you put out a good show? You can see the work that some of you all are still doing. Some of you all are still doing work. Don't pick and choose because I'm mad at you. I'm not going to take care of your street. Because I'm mad at you, I'm going to put you on the back burner to come to your house and make sure something get done. Or taking up and decide that you're going to send somebody out to tag all the cars in somebody's driveway because they got them parked there too long, but your buddy got cars parked in theirs and you don't do nothing about them. So let's be for real and take care of our people here. I'm just sick and tired. This right here, I love that this has started. But it's a lot of people, it's a lot of categories that could be added in there because unfortunately, I don't need no individual money. I'm able to thank God I'm able to take care of a lot of stuff for myself. I'm not a nonprofit and I ain't trying to get no profit. I just want to help people out and I just want to provide a service. So we got to do something to make sure we get out there and take care of our people. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Muhammad.
Hi, my name is Patricia Torrey.
I'm sorry,
My name is Patricia Torrey, and I didn't know about the meeting until about an hour ago, so I hope I don't ask any questions or say something that's already been discussed because I don't know a whole lot about it. I just was back there sitting there listening, and I see you guys was talking about the people who already got their paperwork in, the initial paperwork. Is this the same form? Because I had been given an initial form. They were saying over the television that these forms are not for the people. So the first thing, so now you're saying they are?
It is an initial form. I would suggest that you do fill it out and let the clerk make a copy, and then she will send it to the compliance firm. And they'll put you on.
No, what I'm saying, I had the initial form long time ago.
Okay.
But the television said these are not for the residents. So now you guys are saying they are?
And I can provide.
This form here.
Yeah, let me provide some more clarity.
Please.
This initial form, which was at the 4 meetings, and then also residents came to fill these forms out in the counseling office. That information, the clerk makes a copy, you get a copy back. So you should have received a copy back. After that is done, that information is sent over to the compliance firm, which is Ernst & Young. What Ernst & Young has been doing is taking your information and placing it on a spreadsheet.
Right, I understood that.
This is that information. You will still have to fill out an official form, but this is your initial form. This is your basic information. Then you're going to be contacted for the official one.
I like to say that it might be some additional information requested. The media and everybody else who said this wasn't a real form, they wasn't accurate. It's real, it's being vetted, it could be some additional information, and you'll be contacted and notified.
Okay, so I didn't even turn it in, so now you're talking about these 400 people. So
Turn it in. I would urge you to turn
yeah, but
it
it sounds like you're going to handle those 400 people. Everybody should be on the same page.
Well, it ain't going to be everybody on the same page, and I'll tell you why. Because the initial form folk that we had to start somewhere. What should we do? Ignore them? Now, people will turn in forms today, tomorrow, the next day. I think that it'll be enough to go around, but we need people to turn in so we'll know how many people we're dealing with.
But still, though, with the
What
with
would
us,
you suggest? We ignore
let
the...
me ask my question. No,
Let-
I don't. I want
okay.
everybody to be on the same page.
It's go-
Even though you got 400, anybody who comes behind them, it shouldn't be like,
Let me
oh, we
say
don't,
that-
you ain't let me finish.
But I know what you're saying.
What I'm saying.
You saying that everybody who comes behind those 400 should be on the same page in service. If you got 31,000 households and you got $30 million left, you're going to run out of money.
Regardless, you shouldn't start anybody till everybody get their application in, because I don't know if it was you guys, the TV, or whoever it was, the rest of the people got misled. Because I would
Yeah,
have been.
well, your point is well taken, but we asked you, and I'm telling you now when we called the meeting today, turn it in.
Okay, so I got something else. Okay, we're going to
Turn
move
it
on.
in.
All right. So about the Flint water, I was told that my pipes were changed back when they did it. I had actually moved out of the home. So now I find out last week they haven't even changed these pipes of mine. And I had a tenant there, and I had bought a new hot water heater. It ain't been but 5 years, and we know that hot water heaters, it was last longer than that. Now I was told it's got corrosion due to the Flint water.
You talking about the service line haven't been changed? Do
That's-
you know whether it's lead, galvanized, or copper? You don't know?
They told me initially that we've changed the pipes, okay? I just found out we didn't change yours at all.
What street are you on?
Lynn Street.
We can take an address and have that process looked at.
Okay, and as far as the ward person, is she supposed to help her residents with any of this?
Who is that person?
I'm in the 7th ward, Allie, whoever.
Perkin-Rhoda.
She's not doing anything. I've
She
called
be
that
tripping
woman.
me out.
I've called that lady probably 6 or 7 times. She's never, ever returned a phone
Somebody
call.
else just told me
And
that.
they even gave me her cell phone. I left a message twice for her. She's not doing her job. So what happens when she's not doing her job?
Well,
How do we
when
handle that?
They get mad when I say I'll launch a recall against them, but some of them think they just got a free ride for 4 years. They don't have a free ride for 4 years. If they keep missing meetings and don't show up, just like people missing meetings today, I plan to help folks in their area
Okay, I appreciate
recall them. Ma'am, your point initially is well taken. You said don't start until all apps get in, and I don't know how to cut that
I
on
mean,
and
just
off.
don't disperse. You can start. You got to start. But I don't see you dispersing to 400 people. You know, is it a criteria of whose
Five
whose maintenance take precedence over?
Five council votes. We haven't reached that agreement yet. It'll be 5 council votes will determine that. So that's why I circled back and say your point is well taken, but I would like to disperse, and if others come and money is still there, continue to disperse. But your point is well taken.
Okay, thank you.
All right, look like we're getting to the end. Have y'all enjoyed the meeting and the dialogue? Yes, sir. I've been watching you the whole meeting.
Hi, I'm going to be very brief. My name is Sean Wright Verdun. I am a resident here in Flint, but I also live in Washington, D.C. as well. I have a home there. I inherited my home here from my grandmother. I was born and raised here on West Marengo in Longfellow, right over there. Ward
West
1.
Marengo.
Yes.
First ward.
Can you hear me better now? Right there? Okay. All right, so my first question is, when will you all be voting on all this to make this a reality?
If folks continue to drag their feet, I just told the media outside, any one of us can bring a resolution to speed this up.
Okay.
Any 2 of us can call a special meeting to see if we can get 5 votes. We could bring a resolution to try to speed up this home improvement category Monday, but we might not have 5 votes. We might have 3, we might have 4. So what we're doing, we're gauging it politically to see what the mayor's office is looking at as it relates to this home improvement category. We're trying to count 5 votes to allocate this money yesterday. And soon as we gauge that, we can bring a resolution to any meeting where there's 5 or more and make it happen. That's why by y'all showing up today, I can assure you these absent members is watching. If they ain't watching, they gonna hear about it. And if we call you to a regular meeting when they're here, y'all finna help us get 5 votes. And so that's the best answer that I can give you. Soon as we can think we got 5 council votes. You don't take a vote from the mayor or the finance director, the police chief. It takes 5 council votes to make the move to allocate this money. We're trying to count to 5 on this council. That's the best way I can answer you.
All right, I appreciate that. And only because, I'm concerned because, as I mentioned, I'm in the DC area as well. They've already allocated all their funds. And the very first city council meeting that they had there, they took care of the residents. And that was last year. And every city, I did my research on this last night, every city in the state of Maryland has taken action and helped the residents first. Every city council and every city there. So I'm begging Flint City Council to please get it together. I will be at the next meeting and all the future meetings moving forward, because I'm in Flint more. And just please get it together. Stop the arguing. No one's bigger than anyone else. And the residents here in the city need the help. Help them next with this. Nonprofits don't need to be helped first. Okay? And it is on the City of Flint website right now. That Monday, they will be accepting applications for the nonprofits, those big nonprofits and things, whatever. But, this should be happening first. Next week, there should be some type of resolution, amendment, whatever you guys have to do in City Council to make this a reality.
Excuse me, sir, ma'am, that's leaving. I really appreciate your comments. You make me think a little bit. Okay, go ahead,
All right.
sir.
And then finally, but to hear that Saginaw's taking care of theirs already, we're a way better city than that place. We already know that. So
You sound like
no shade, but let's just make this happen, please, okay?
Well, you're very well spoken, and if you can continue to stick with us, and if we see you Monday and you can articulate and communicate, that's what it's going to take. When you see this many people with an interest, and there's some that did the initial application who wasn't here, my fantasy is that 100 to 200 people lobby this voting body and make it happen sooner rather than later. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to vote. I just don't like losing. I want to see 5 votes and we ready.
Well, you'll see my face more. I'm in town more, so you'll see me more.
Thank you.
Mr. Sean Wright, thank you for coming. And I know that you stay engaged. You made a point, putting residents first. And that is the responsibility of a municipality and of the elected officials to put the residents first. And I know I see you on social media a lot, and your mother's a great singer.
Thank you.
And you got to show up. I see things get moved when residents show up in these council chambers, and we have to do the work. So please stay engaged, show up, because your voice matters. This is the people's money. It's not the council's money, and it's not the administration's money. It's the people's money. And Maryland just got their first, I believe, black governor.
Yes,
and to have all of their cities make sure that they're taking care of their residents first, that should be our #1 goal, residents and people first. So stay engaged,
That's
please.
what they're doing out there, and again, I'm 50% there, 50% here, so I see it there. And their council meetings in Washington, D.C., standing room only. Like, they're packed, every single one, because people want to be heard. So I hope that Flint residents that are watching on social media and that are here understand that like you just said, things will get done when the residents are here and forcing the lawmakers to make things happen.
It makes a difference. I'm ready to watch that Dallas Cowboy and San Francisco 49 game. Chris Del Moroni, come on. We trying to get to these games. This has been a great meeting so far.
Yeah.
Take your time. And anybody else who feel they want to say something, then we'll go.
Thank you.
Yeah, but come on. We ready to roll.
Thank you. My name is Chris Del Moroni. I live in Flint, Michigan. So, I'm just getting here to the meeting, don't know what's really been said, so, I hope I'm not redundant. But, if you go to the doctor, and the doctor, he or she tells you you have cancer, and they say, well, we're going to take this cancer out right here in your arm. I could take all of it out, but I'm just going to take some of it out. I'd have a real concern about that. Well, Flint had its cancer in its plumbing. And what the city did is they took out some of that cancer, and it was the area of the service line from the street to your house. But they left the rest of the cancer in you in the sense that they didn't replace the pipes inside your house. Now, all service lines did not need to be replaced. And if you were in that situation where your line did not need to be replaced, that's a good thing, okay? But I believe this money, some of it, whatever we can, should be used to remove the rest of the cancer. And I think people should have their plumbing inside their home replaced if it's galvanized or lead, okay? Now, all residents won't get new pipes, which again is a good thing because you don't have the lead, the galvanized, the lead pipes in your house. So some will get replacement and some would not. Now, to put in a whole house filter, some would say, well, that's the answer. Give everyone a complete water system filter. The problem is when that water hits that filter from the clean service line, that's all good right there at the filter. But then it's got to go through those lead pipes and galvanized pipes that are still in your house. So take care of the cancer.
Well, you do understand that anybody can fill out these forms for that type of home improvement.
Okay, thank you. Take care of the cancer. And what this will do will make our residents safer, they'll feel safer, they'll have more confidence in our government. It will also increase the value of their home because now they have new pipes that are not lead or galvanized. In regards to, I've heard today for the little period of time I'm here, is that 400 people have already made application or turned in.
Filled out the initial
Filled
form.
out the initial
I'm
form.
gonna keep
This
repeating that
one
name,
that's
initial
available
form, yeah.
in the back. Now, I think what we need to do is put a deadline on it. There's nothing wrong with processing those 400 or as they come in, but we need to put a deadline on it and say all this initial form and then the application itself, there is a deadline.
Can I say this, Chris?
Yes.
The reason that I don't go for that's similar to what that lady was saying, because if you got 40 million left and people done put in for 7.6 million, this council decides if they want to allocate 30 million for home improvements, 7 million, 15 million, or 40 million. If they all of a sudden say, hey, we want to take care of that many residents versus keep giving the money to the big shots, 16 million at a whop, 3 million at a whop. This council can do that. So that's why I don't want to put a deadline, because if you got 500 people do home improvements, the minute the money hit, you might have 500 more, and we put a deadline. And we have the authority to allocate not 10 million, but 20 million. I didn't want to interrupt you, but I wanted to make that point. Continue.
Okay. I just didn't want to see anybody cut out because I don't want to see the city go to a first come, first serve when those that come in a day later, not beyond a deadline or anything, that come in a day later, their needs might be greater than what someone else has, or might be more of a compelling use of a better use of those funds. But
I can guarantee you it's going to be some people who find out later who might have a greater use. And your point, just like I'm telling her, is well taken. So you better continue to try to help these 5 council people, including myself, figure it out. Your points are well taken.
Because for the replacement of the service lines, for the most part, it was just done. You didn't have to call anybody, make application. And if you replace the pipes in the house, that's what you can do. Someone goes into the house and go, okay, galvanized lead, PVC, this is what we need to replace. But I just want to see it to be fair to everyone. And in regards to the big institutional nonprofits, don't give them a penny. I'm telling you, I'm telling you, they've received millions upon millions of dollars, and the only money of that I have seen is the multitude of mailings that I've received at my home for the Flint Registry. It's totally ridiculous. I don't even know yet, for all the mailings that they sent me, I still don't know what the Flint Registry could do for me or anyone in this room. I don't know what they're going to follow. I don't know what, I don't even get it. It's like sign up. If you don't sign up, we're going to keep sending you mailings. And if you sign up, we'll give you $50 and everybody moves on. I don't know. But it's simply a money grab by these big institutions. You know, they call them nonprofits. You know why they call them nonprofits? Because the administrators get paid so much. They're getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to do what for us? The administrators. It's not trickling down. It's not moving anywhere but from the government to the nonprofit to someone's pocket.
That's why I like this initial forum. It showed me, for one, how many people want help within their household versus how many people is applying for nonprofits and others. This was a great way to get a feel of what people need and what they want, and I'm just ecstatic to see people is paying attention. But it's time to put the hammer down and start releasing and spending this money.
And lastly, I just want to say,
excuse me.
Remember why the money is coming here. It's about the water crisis.
I thought we was at our last speaker, but I just want the public to know that I hear y'all. Thank you guys for having this special meeting. I try to do the best I can to be here, and I look forward to working with you guys and trying to get this right. All right.
Now that tire, you see that guy out there, but your sister with you, you already got everything set up. I was gonna see if you needed some tire help. What you need? All right, thank you.
All right. Well, okay. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
No, I want to thank you, everybody, for coming, especially to set up this meeting. I've been waiting for when we had a crowd of people here. I even mentioned it to Eric about a month ago. We need to crowd the courtroom when they have the trial. We need to come down here to meetings. Don't let this just be a Saturday meeting. We should start coming down to the council meetings when you're able, okay, to support, not Quincy and that other 5, okay? I don't care what he said. I follow the meetings like a coach followed the football game. I know everything that you're going through. They got on the council to hoodwink and to hamstring Eric Mays. Okay, now you got to understand that. Okay, because if that's the priority, he put a motion on the floor and it's crickets. Nobody says second. I second the motion unless it's Quincy Carter
she does it, she saves him all the time. Otherwise, they sit there quiet and they come up for a vote, and they vote sometimes 6-3 or 5-4, over and over and over again. This is what we're dealing with, and the citizens are suffering. We've got to support the people that try to get things for us. Now, what we are experiencing is about 500 years, close to 467 years of the American way to step on black folks. Now, if you think you other than that, then just keep on thinking that, okay? The pieces of the crumbs that they're throwing out with this opera money is a symptom of what they've always done since we've been here, okay? Don't get nervous when I start telling you the truth, okay? Because I say cut the check on the national level. They don't need no meetings, no nothing. Anytime that you can give George Washington 500,000 acres of free land, and you can give the same to Thomas Jefferson, who actually was having babies by his wife's half-sister, okay, then you're going to give Benjamin Franklin 50,000 acres of free land, and then you're going to turn right around and give Patrick Henry 55,000 acres of free land. They gave away 2 billion acres of free land to white folks. They didn't buy the land when you go down south and out west. That's a gift to them, but they didn't give our people 40 acres on a mule, okay? And they destroyed the Freedmen's Bank. They destroyed the Freedmen's Bureau. And Eric, you said that you could keep talking. So can I. But most have been said, but nobody touched on the reparation piece. I say cut the check.
All right. Lori, is Lori the last speaker we will see?
I'm so happy I don't even know what to do.
Well, be happy, and you got the floor.
Beautiful meeting, and being able to express yourself, not being squashed by time limit, is just wonderful. So, but I'm gonna keep it real short because y'all trying to go to some game or something.
No, that's just me talking. They might not be interested in the game.
But
Take it, do your thing. I'll miss
we
the
already went
game.
over the initial form. I in no way, when that was given to me, in no way thought it was an application and money was gonna come, first of all. Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me? Yes. That's my baby girl said that. I didn't understand why, and I wish Quincy was still here. And I do see Quincy's transformation if nobody else see it, because we dealing with the thing, and maturing, and he's caught so in between things. But anyway, I get to that down here. But anyway, you see it too coming? Yeah. I don't know why they were so stuck on these forms being in only 4 meetings and then nobody else could have got it. That was tripping me out. I really don't understand that. But I kind of understand because it's control and territorial. One of your people was extremely territorial. And like the guy said, I sit back and watch these meetings like, well, I don't watch football or nothing, but yeah, it entertains me, sadly entertains me in most cases. I do bow down to you 3 for standing so strong. I don't see how you do it without snapping off, but you have been able to remove yourself, your personal selves, from your duties. And that's what I wanted to say to Quincy, that being able to, I don't care, I say this all the time in the street, I don't care if this man is swinging from chandeliers with Hennessy bottles or whatever, you stay on your stuff. They too busy, so busy trying to control this man and tell him what to do and how to move and distract it from the actual business. But the thing about it is, and I think that's what's getting to Quincy, I wish he was here so bad, that he's caught because the administration is using that distraction to be able to move and maneuver and disrespect them in a way. And I think it became really clear when Priestley was sick of it. And she said, we're not gonna okay any more money until you give me the information that I've been requesting. That information came right away. It came right away. But that's how you all have to stand as a whole. But I know you three, I'm singing to the choir right now. Okay, let me move my stuff off of here. I don't want this to go to the agencies. I am totally against that, especially being a person that's one person in my household. The qualifications is crazy, the hoops is crazy, and you still miss out on whatever is going on. You have to play you know how you have to, when you're trying to rent tickets on and if you don't know this, then you're going to miss out completely. But when you're trying to rent tickets on the radio station, you hang up, you got to keep calling back. Yeah, a lot of them agencies, if you don't even know that, you got to do that to even get in. It's just too much agencies. Okay, quit with I'm through with that. I'm just going through my stuff. Distracted by Mays, I already said that. We've been more patient is not even a word, waiting for them to bring down this application. And I didn't know till this morning. I was watching you on Mr. Dumas' show this morning, listening to y'all, and I didn't know that you all didn't even vote for the form. It's so crazy. Where I come from, I was brought up on Baltimore, Pierce and Bryan Northwestern. You don't write nothing down that you don't want nobody to see. You don't record nothing you don't want nobody to see. And you don't talk, you try to do them things by yourself. That's just where I come from.
Lord, let me make it clear what you said. You said the three of us didn't vote for the form, but the six people who missing did vote for the form. And they the ones raising the most hell.
And it's on video.
It's videoed on Valentine's Day, February the 14th. The vote was 6 of them.
I've never seen nothing like it. This is the most gaslighting, lioness, manipulative group of people I've ever seen, and they're being distracted by the administration so they can move the way they want to move. And until you all put your foot down like Ms. Priestley did that day, and I guess you all voted, I can't remember particularly, they're going to continue to do that. And the people who are sick of, call themselves sick of you, and really don't have a problem is caught between the rock and the hard place. They're being totally disrespected by the administration. I think it's growing in their heads, and they're seeing that, but now you're stuck. Sometimes we do that when we're maturing, and I see some maturity coming in some of them, but okay, that's it. I ain't gonna keep y'all no more.
All right, well, what we'll do, we'll see how they vote. We've had a showing of people. I think we'll continue. And people are looking and watching, and I think and know that has
Can I say one more thing, please?
On politics, yeah. But then we gonna do closing comments and be out of here. How you doing, Pastor? Minister Martin.
This is how we have become an avoidance place. The city of Flint has become a place of avoidance. They don't come down. We don't stand up. And we have to do that because we keep talking about they, but we are they. And if we don't stand up and put our foot down and make it happen, they just run it the way they want. They're voting against the charter, the laws, and everything on camera. I never seen nothing like it in my life. Thank you. Bye.
Let me say this, Ariel. Ariel.
Yeah.
What if I told you public comment was closed? But I ain't gonna tell you that. I love you. Go ahead.
Okay. Hello. My name is R.L. Mitchell. About the situation about the form, you people are here today, about yesterday, the judge coming in this building to be the judge, everybody on this council. And she And she asked me where she should go to straighten herself out. I took her straight to the mirror, and then Ed Teller, the first one, ran out the door and ran out like it, and everybody acted like she didn't know who the judge was, but she's a American, a Native American or something. And now she got on her little gadget and she had a robe and everything in a plastic bag. She is finna, and now you see all these people saying here, all we had one more vote and we can settle this stuff already until Monday comes. But this person, you see, I'm glad my councilman, he left because Murphy, the 3rd Ward, and it ain't like me people in the 1st Ward don't know. And she already threatened the judge up to say you do what? They already put her on, talking about do some jail time. But this is what I'm trying to say. The judge, she, like you say, like the man said, that coach guy right there, he said it right. Give her,
That's the name. I didn't tell her the name.
yeah, that guy know what he's talking about. That property on what they did build the Washington, D.C. property on and all that stuff. They trying to, like black people, like they don't know, and talking about using the N-word and all that stuff and the MF word, and they went and invented that stuff and talking about a black man ain't no man because forget that, talking about this racial, and I keep coming back. That's what I'm gonna say.
Thank you, sir. Hey, look, we got final council comment. I want to hear from, is it something you want to say, Claire? Okay, we got final council comment. I'll start with Ms. Burns and go in that seniority order. I'm gonna go Ms. Burns. No, I'm starting with seniority. That's an inside joke we got. Go ahead, Ms. Burns.
Thank you, Councilman Mays. I want to say to everyone who showed up, and to those who are taking the time to watch it on YouTube, your voice, your concerns, they matter. They're number one to me. This is your city council chambers, and we work for you, the public. And when we work together, we can be a powerful force, and we have to work together. If you don't like what's going on, then you need to contact your council person. They work for you. Remind them. All of these seats should have been filled. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to do something for the residents. Our ARPA ad hoc committee should have been here. This is the worst ad hoc committee ever. The people matter, and to not show up and share information with the council is a problem. Our council president should have been here. The vice president should have been here. The finance chair should have been here because they work for the people. We all have things to do on Saturday. I know I did, but I stopped and I rescheduled because the residents are important. I've seen too much money come to Flint, and I have a spreadsheet. It did not go to any resident. It didn't. It went to the big nonprofits, and we didn't see it. So for me, it's important. Your time isn't wasted. I like hearing from you, and if you're in the 6th Ward, I will help you. If you call me and you're not in my ward, I always help because we are supposed to work together. When one of our council people cannot handle something, one of us is supposed to pick up the slack and handle and carry that load so that the residents are not missing a step. I'm gonna make sure we're not missing a step. Hold me accountable. I was taking calls last night at 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning because they breaking in over in Mott Park. And so when I say I'm on duty 24/7, I mean it. I ran on it. I'm not changing it. My commitment is to the people. And when it's not for the people, you don't have to recall me. I'm going to resign. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Burns. Ms. Winfrey Carter.
Thank you, Councilman Mays. First, I would like to thank each and every one of you who came out to be engaged in this meeting. This was important. Martin Luther King Jr. Once said, "Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter." This matters. This matters. And I ran because I wanted to take care of the citizens, the residents of the city of Flint. And I want to stand in the gap for the residents. And I'm like Councilwoman Burns. When the residents doesn't matter, then I have no purpose. I have no purpose. This is about you all. It's not about me. It's not about me. It's about you all. And the opera money, that's your money. That's your money. Every seat in this council chamber should have been filled because this money is your money. And I'm going to make sure, with all I can do, to make sure that you guys get what you need. So I just want to thank you all for coming out and continue to be engaged. Come to the council meetings. You know, come. Let us know what your issues are, what your complaints are, because we need to hear them. And I'm going to tell you something, like I tell all of my residents in the 5th Ward. When you come down here and put stuff on the record, people start moving. And that's what you need to do. Put it on the record. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Winfrey Carter. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out today. I'd like to thank Davina, the city clerk, and our staff getting things together. I do thank you, Mr. Metcalf, for keeping order. I thank you for not arresting me today. I'd like to thank Paul Herring for the video. And I'm looking at folks. I'm looking at Minister Martin, Papa Jared, Pastor Threlkel, the doctor who spoke. I'm looking at Lori, her daughter. I'm looking at folks in my ward, Chris Del Maroney, I think that's Miss Sims back there, and others. We all know each other. And there's probably 30-some people left. You had over 100 and some people show up, and a bunch of them had filled out the home improvement category. That was the specific focus of this particular meeting, to communicate with folks who filled out in the home improvement category and the business category as well. We've got some good business requests in there where people can enrich the lives of them and their family. I gave an example of one of them. My corner store request is in there, which can help with generational wealth. Our property, doing the home improvements and repairs, passing it down to relatives, generational wealth. So what we have here at stake is important. I was nervous as a cat when I went to sleep last night. I say, if we have 20 people, we're going to work with it. I say, if we have 3 council persons, we're going to work with it. I say, if we have over 100 people, we hit a home run. We hit a home run today. We did it on a Saturday. I hope we didn't burn nobody out, because I see another meeting or two. When we put the resolution forward for the vote, if we have this many or more, I believe we'll pick up a vote from Mr. Murphy. Now, I believe that. I could be wrong. Some people might not, but I've watched this council, and I believe we'll pick up another vote. I believe we'll get the 5 votes in the home improvement area, and I believe we can get there sooner than later and start putting these contracts in place so when the weather breaks, we can see it being done. That is my prayer. That is my hope. That is my belief. God bless us all, and we are adjourned.